I'm Pratyush Vaibhav and I do graphic design. I'm also a student of mechanical engineering. I started designing back in 2008 or 9 I would say. I was listening to In the End by Linkin Park on my boombox and I was looking at the cover page of the album. And I suddenly realized that the cover was pretty much self-explanatory. And so I started reading about it and I realized that Mike Shinoda is also a graphic designer, he's a rapper, he's a multi-instrumentalist, he's a multi-talented guy. And so Mike Shinoda became my inspiration of graphic design. Later on I started following David Carson, Stefan Sagmister, Chip Kidd, Riza Bedini and some other designers. And I started reading a lot of books about graphic design. I knew that I couldn't go to an art college, so I had to pretty much educate myself regarding design. And I started doing personal projects at the start until unless I started getting professional projects. So that's how I started designing. For me as a college student, it's pretty hard to pull out time for both the things, academic load and this design load. So I pretty much do all my thinking in the time that I'm walking or I'm sitting in between the lectures. Graphic design for me is problem solving. Basically problem of communication. You have to communicate something, you do it through design. And as a designer, I try not to be literal. Chip Kidd is a great book cover designer. He has explained it in his TED lecture very beautifully. That when you are designing something, you don't have to treat your audience like a moron. Every time a new word pops up in my head, I write it down on a piece of paper. I scribble it down on a piece of paper. And then, as a process, I always do this. I start designing for each of the words that I wrote. I try to avoid the cliche words. So you can basically see that you can either invent a concept or you can use a well-defined symbol that is out there and create an amazing logo with that. That's how I do entire planning thing, and then I go sit down and sketch the things that are there in my head and then come up with the design.